Hello, everybody. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q. What an exciting morning here. We're doing some experimenting. On this crappy day. If you got an ARC, send it down to Chrysler Avenue. I'm sick and tired of 2 days of rain that actually stopped. The sun might try to peek out, but it's cold. I got my hat on. When you see my hat, you know it's cold out there. That's all there is to it. It's cold out there. Okay, so what do we got here? Mother Nature, stop it. Pat Porter's going to call in this morning at around 12:15. I'm expecting a call from Pat Porter. Now, with the video, you're not going to be able to see him. But I've got a rig up here that we think is going to work, that I think is going to work. And we're going to find out live on air. This is live radio for all you guys out there in the 4680q.com realm. And for my video guys, we're going to see if it's going to work. You'll be able to hear him. You won't see him. And we'll see what Pat Porter is up to. He's on location up to something. I don't know what. But he's going to be calling in, so we'll see. We'll see if we can get this to work. Everything's here. It should work. Everything should work until it doesn't. Okay, now, one thing I want to do is wish all my American friends and family a happy Memorial Day. And if you can see, I'm wearing my G.I. Joe shirt today in honor of Memorial Day and of those who have passed fighting for our freedoms and those who continue to fight for our freedoms today in parts around the world who can't be home with their families on Memorial Day. We love them all. We love our military. It doesn't matter whether you're in Canada or the United States. We love our military, and we celebrate them all the time. If you see somebody in the military, thank them for their service. They do a great job. They're there fighting for us. Okay, happy Memorial Day to all my friends and family. One thing we know for the summer, regardless of this weather, is you want your car to work when you're going out to grab a pizza on the way to Hamel Machine Company. So let's talk about our sponsors before we get into the show. We're waiting for Pat Porter at around 12:15. We'll watch the clock here, and we'll break close to that time so we can talk to him. Now, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pizza Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, they are our sponsors. So like I said, if you're going to grab a pizza on the way to Hamel Machine Company, you want your car to work, and that's why you take it to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Ken Hunter will give your car the once-over, the free spring inspection. Make sure all systems are go. Make sure there's no error codes on your computer. Fix any problems. Get you out the door fast. You're going to have a safe summer with good brakes, the air conditioning working, all your fluids topped up. Everything's going to be top-notch. That's how Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop does business. So you want to be proactive. You want to get your car fixed before it breaks down and get those winter tires off. Come on. Even though it's been crappy, there's no time for winter tires now. You're going to burn them out. Now, if you get in a wreck, Ken's got a full body shop. He's going to take your car in wreck, send it to you in showroom condition. You can't go wrong. You've got to get your car in there and get it checked. Be proactive, not reactive. And while you're on the internet at wildbillsauto.ca, don't forget to smash the subscribe button to this channel. That's right. Hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but you sure help the show. You help the algorithm, and it gets the show out to more people. Let's get more people involved. We're at 130 subscribers now. Come on, let's crank that up to 200. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It costs you nothing. And you'll get notifications when I drop a show every day around 3 o'clock. Okay, so that's the house cleaning out of the way. Let's move on to my first item of business here today. And that's City Council agenda. It's out. You can see it at niagarafalls.ca. There are some planning matters on the table. I just looked over it really quick. I went through it yesterday afternoon just to see what's going on with it. We're going to talk about it on Monday with Dave Wheeler. He'll be in the studio. We'll go through the whole agenda, give you the important parts, tell you what to watch for, give you our opinions on what's going on, And you might be a little bit better informed. Who knows? And when you watch the show at 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, remember the city council meeting is Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock for the public. Usually they're in camera, which means they're in a top secret meeting. They don't tell us anything. The transparency isn't a thing in Niagara Falls City Council. So they come out 4:30, 5 o'clock usually, right? Depends on when they finish the pizza and wings. And yeah, so we'll see that. Now, there's some planning matters on the table in this agenda that I noticed while I was in there. Nothing out of the ordinary, but there is an interesting 88-page item, and that's 9.2, item 9.2. You may want to take a look at going back to the 2023 budget. Some interesting items in those 88 pages, by the way, that happened in the past with your money. Tells you where they spent it. Item 9.5 takes you into quarter one housing and growth monitoring report. And this is really interesting to see where they're at with this if you go through it, because by mandate, Niagara Falls has to build 8,000 houses by 2031 by provincial mandate. This is what the province has handed down. And in order for us to do that, which should be no problem with the number of planning matters we have already approved, plans we already approved for housing, unfortunately, we can okay the planning matters, okay the builds, but for some bizarre reason, our city council doesn't know how to get them going. We never see shovels in the ground, but that's important because we get money from the province for meeting certain goals, certain benchmarks. And last time we got nothing, and St. Catharines got, I don't know, 3 or 4 million. So, we have to meet these benchmarks. And so when you look through the quarter one housing and growth monitoring report, it'll tell you where we are. Item 11.1 is now and always has been very controversial. And of course, my take on flag raisings is no. But here we are again, a year later after we talked about it. And it's about raising a flag to Azerbaijan. Am I right, Dave Wheeler? That's how you pronounce it, Azerbaijan. And it's a dictatorship with no regards for human rights. Why are we raising a flag to Azerbaijan? I don't know why. I always say no flags. Don't get into controversial geopolitical situations. But for some reason, we just seem like we have to. No, we don't have to. Say no to everybody. And you don't have to raise any flags. Italian, gay, anything. Nothing. That's 11.1. You look up Azerbaijan and you see what they say about that country. I mean, to me, it's just stupid raising the flag, but I'm not the one who makes the decision. City council is. They're doing it again this year. They did it last year. So these are some of the items that Dave Wheeler and I will be covering when we get to the city council agenda on Monday at noon sharp. We'll be here going through it for you. And there's a lot of other stuff in there. You can look through it yourself. Planning matters, motions, a lot of motions. Lori Coke was put forward a lot of motions for a lot of different things. And of course, there's the controversy about Councillor Mike Strange, and I'll be talking about that today after we talk to Pat Porter at 12:15. He's supposed to call in, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the other items, but not a lot because we're going to do that Monday. We're going through the whole thing Monday, so tune in on Monday. It's going to be a good show, and we'll go through it better. But those are the items that I think you want to look at before, if you get to the agenda at niagarafalls.ca. Item 9.2, check out those 88 pages. Item 9.5, quarter one housing and growth monitoring report. And item 11.1 about flag raising and all the other stuff that they do. So there you go. That's the most important things. Let's get to viewer comments. And this is gonna. Oh, there goes the Russian Ms. D. I haven't seen her around in a long time. I love sitting here looking out the window. You know that, right? That's part of my shtick here. I see what's going on and I comment on everybody. Her, I haven't seen in a long time. Glad to see she's still kicking around here. At 881 Slick, viewer comment. Good afternoon, Paul. Hope you are well. I was listening to your show today and you spoke about tomorrow's show. You will be talking of the alleged abuser, Mike Strange, alleged. Remember, that's alleged. Here's my thoughts. If I were on council as a man or woman for this matter, if he was to walk into our chamber, and he's right, it is the taxpayers' chamber, we pay for it, I would get up and walk out with an explanation. Hopefully, as you said a handful of shows ago, your mayor should have advised him to step down until the end of this embarrassing issue to our city. Best regards, Paul. Much love and respect. And of course, Gary Wilkins told me, 881 Slick, he says, use my name, Paul. When I say something, I put it in writing and I mean it, and I want people to know who's saying it. And a lot of others have asked me about this, Gary, and I am going to talk about that at length after our call from Pat Porter. So for now, I'll just say that I agree with you, and it's going to be interesting to see what transpires Tuesday at the council meeting, because this is a pretty controversial topic when you think about it, right from the get-go. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about it a bit later after Pat Porter calls in at quarter after. So, but I am going to get to it, Gary, and I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much for commenting. And we will get to it. I'm just going to put that to the side for now because we are going to talk to it after Pat Porter's call. I don't want to get into the call in the middle of that what I'm going to say about that. So for the meantime, let's go over to Welland. And I call it the WWE City Council. That's it, the WWE City Council. They battle it out more than the WWE, and it's always between Frank, the Mayor Campion, and terrible Tony DeMarco. Well, battle was quiet for a couple of meetings, and now it's back in full swing again. And I don't know who's worse, them or Grimsby. I mean, our guys are pikers down here on Queen Street compared to these guys. They battle it out. It's been an ongoing match with terrible Tony. He's got thrown out of City Hall. He's not allowed into council meetings anymore. He has to attend the meetings by Zoom, by a Zoom call. He's not allowed at city council meetings in the room. He can't be there. He's not allowed to step inside City Hall, even for meetings. Now, that doesn't stop him from acting up. And he also gets thrown out of the Zoom meetings, which happened last meeting when he was accused of using very foul language by the mayor, Frank the Mayor. Apparently, the Terrible had technical problems for over an hour and was PO'd about missing all that part of the meeting, an hour of the meeting. Now, the Terrible says he tried to come to City Hall because of the technical problems, but they wouldn't let him in. So it's wacky, but that's how it goes down in Welland. Welland is a pretty wild place, and the Terrible here, the Terrible Tony DeMarco, terrible Tony DeMarco. He tried to get into City Hall. They wouldn't let him in. And of course, that's been the case since December of 2023. They haven't let him in. And he's had a couple of tussles at the front door because for some reason the technology isn't working. He can't see the meeting. And then out of nowhere, he shows up at the front door. They won't let him in. Now, he's been terrible Tony. He's been no stranger to trouble, being the center of nine Integrity Commission reports since 2017, including 2 in 2024. He was in a discussion with the mayor when he uttered an OF. As he concluded his statement to the mayor and was promptly thrown out of the Zoom meeting. So they clicked the button and got him out of the meeting after he swore. The technical glitch, Tony, maybe not have been a technical glitch. It may have been the mayor throwing you out of the meeting. So if you think our city councils meetings are entertaining, you gotta get a lowdown of this Welland thing. It's worth turning on the TV just to see what's going to happen next over there. But I got to give them credit in Welland. I got to give them credit. They do get things done. And thanks to Alan Benner of the St. Catharines Standard for this great article. But they do get things done in Welland. I mean, here we are in Niagara Falls, putting up money for different things. And I'm just watching the phone here to make sure, because we're going to be getting into the Pat Porter call in about a couple minutes. But Yeah, so I'm watching Welland, and somehow they get things done. They're getting a lot of building. People are going there. Industries are popping up, and also they hired, I don't know, 11 or 13 doctors over the last couple of years. With their program, $100,000 to hang a shingle or take over a business, a doctor in business in Welland. Well, Niagara Falls, we've only managed to scoop up 2 new doctors. I mean, they're doing it. I don't know how, but somehow what appears to be some kind of a totally dysfunctional, a totally dysfunctional city council, always fighting, not letting the guy in, banning him from City Hall. But he was elected, so they can't get rid of him. Apparently, they get things done by hook or by crook. So how can it's fun to watch, but we can't really criticize them. They managed to get things done. And Welland is a going concern right now, actually. Maybe even a bit more than Niagara Falls. And we've got, I mean, think about it. We can't get doctors here. We got the falls, we got casinos, we got any kind of entertainment you could imagine here. We've got beautiful parkway to enjoy. We have wineries. I mean, we've got it all here. But for some reason, Welland seems to trump us all the time, even with their wacky city council. So congratulations to Welland. It's the WWE over there, but for some reason, Vince McMahon knows how to get things done over there, and they get her done. How much can he criticize them? Okay, moving on. We're going to move on about a little bit of on crime now. Once again, just waiting for Pat Porter to call in. He is going to call in. You wonder why crime is running rampant in Niagara Falls and surrounding areas. Well, check this out. A trucker was caught with trying to smuggle 132 crates, not packages, not cartons, crates of cigarettes worth a cool 17.5 million fazools, was caught at the Lewiston Queenston Bridge. That's right. They caught him dead rights with this stuff. And just waiting to see if he's calling in here. I haven't heard the phone ring yet. So anyway, he got caught with all this 17.5 million worth of stuff. And you know what his sentence was? House arrest. Now, does anyone think this was his first rodeo? He claims he got paid $100,000 to try and smuggle the load, which is a pile of baloney. Who would risk their career for a measly $1,000? His payment was probably more like 50 grand on a $17.5 million haul. It has to be more than $1,000. Come on. If he's going to break the law and maybe get charged and go to jail, he's got to have more than $1,000. But who would risk their career for that? Well, apparently this guy would. He's 53 years old. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. If he's broke or he's got some kind of a problem, some kind of other problem, he needs the money, but it doesn't seem like a lot if you're going to be hauling that much money and you can go to jail for it. Let's see. I don't see Pat Porter calling. Maybe he's not calling in. I don't know. Okay, well, if he calls, he calls. If he doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. He said quarter after, so yeah, 8 calls. See, I'm gonna just pick up the phone here. Oh, Pat Porter. He's calling. He's calling my phone. What good is my phone? I can't answer it. I'm on the radio and I'm videotaping it. I can't answer that phone. So no, he's not on there. I got a blank line. Pat, call the studio line if you're listening to this or watching it, or well, you can't watch it. It's not live, but you got to call the studio line. I don't know. It would ring, I would say. I haven't used this phone in a long time. Oh, here we go. Pat Porter, are you there? All righty. Okay, we got you. Pat Porter's on the phone. Now, I'm going to do this microphone thing, and hopefully it comes out on the video. So give me a second on the video. You should be able to hear Pat Porter. I got it all set up here.
I'm all ready to go. I'm listening to the Paul K. Lemire show.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you be?
I never miss it.
Best show on radio.
Well, second best.
But yeah, Pat Porter's the first, right? Hey, how you doing, Pat? What are you doing? Where are you? Why are you calling into this show today?
Paul, we've got a very special occasion going on here today at Boats Niagara on Airport Road in Niagara-on-the-Lake, right off the Glendale QEW exit there, right next to Automotive Warehouse. 6 acres of boats. Wow. And it's a grand opening open house today and tomorrow from 8 o'clock until 6 o'clock both days. I have Jeffrey Taylor with me. Jeffrey's the district sales manager for Legend Boats. Hey, Jeffrey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, Pat. Thanks for having me on the show to chat here briefly this morning.
Yeah, you got a big day, and I guess a big day tomorrow, too, out here at the Boats Niagara.
Yeah, we do. Coming from Legend, we're super excited. We're down here in the Niagara area with our new Legend partner, Boats Niagara, and, we're excited. They're excited. They're great representatives of our product line. We're a boat company in Canada. We sell aluminum boats, pontoon boats, and fiberglass boats. And down here, the team at Boats Niagara, they're fantastic. They treat our customers well, our mutual customers, and, we're excited for a very fun weekend.
Definitely. There's a bouncy castle out there. They're setting it up right now for the kids. I don't think I'm going to give it a try. How about you, Jeffrey?
You know what? I might jump on there. If we get a boat sold today, I might be jumping on it.
You guys are both crazy. You're both crazy.
Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. There's food down here. There's soft drinks and everything for anybody that stops in. We got snacks, all kinds of stuff. And this is such a big operation that it will take you a little while to go from front to back, and then all around the 6-acre lot that they've got here. It's a secure lot, and you can store anything in there. You can store boats, you can store RVs, anything at all. 6 acres. And inside, of course, I talked to the mechanics already. They were on this show the other day with me. And today I've got Jeffrey Taylor again. And Jeffrey, how far did you have to travel to get to Boats Niagara today?
So you know what? For me personally, Pat, I live up in North Bay. So I'm about 4.5-hour drive down here to Boats Niagara. Luckily, I had a pit stop, halfway, so I could cut that trip in half this morning. But driving's it's no old thing for me. I'm on the road quite often here.
Yeah. Well, you got a big lake up there in North Bay, and down here, you got Lake Erie, you got Lake Ontario, you got the Niagara River. We're basically surrounded by water. What a perfect place to put Boats Niagara, smack dab in the middle of everything.
That's the beauty of boating in Ontario, and specifically down here, there's some big water and some big boats that can float on it. So we're happy that these guys can handle that style of boater and customer. I
know. When I walked in to say hello to you, you were sitting in the office with Scott, the sales manager. And Scott, I shook his hand and said, "How you doing?" And he says, "Well, when are you going to buy a boat? What can I fix you up with?" So I told him I wanted one of those shrink-wrapped yachts in the back. And he says, "Well, we'll have you in that." I said, "Well, let me talk to my banker first." Just to be sure. But Jeffrey, what are you going to be doing when the customers come in today? They have questions for you, what?
Yeah, you know what? We have a variety of some of Legend's new boats here. We have a couple of our non-current boats, and Boats Niagara has a couple of used and consignment boats as well. So this is a great opportunity for customers that are looking for boats to come in, and obviously we can talk them through, the information they need to hear. Or, we've sold plenty of Legend boats in this area with different dealers over the past decade, and those customers, I'd love for them to come on out and just chat, and we can talk about their current boat or potentially looking at a new boat. If it's anything boating, that's what I'm here for.
There's the man to answer your questions. If you have any, come on down. LegendBoats.com, and Boats Niagara, of course, is on Airport Road. It's just off the Queen Elizabeth Way. Take the Glendale exit, and it's right next to Automotive Warehouse. So right next to you. You're not going to miss it. You can't miss a 6-acre boating establishment like Boats Niagara. Jeffrey Taylor, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day today to talk to me a little bit about boats here today.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. And then, the last thing I'll add, if you do anything on the water that requires a boat or a motor, make your way down to Boats Niagara. Meet the team here. It's one of the best customer service-oriented businesses I've worked with, and I'm proud to say my product is now in their store.
That's fantastic. Paul Lemire, have you got a boat?
No, mi barco es hundido.
Okay. All right, Paul. If I buy that yacht, I'll give you a ride in it. How's that?
Yeah, I want to drive it.
Okay.
I want those twin MTUs. I want those twin MTUs going. Let's go. I don't like boats. I like yachts.
You like, okay, well, we'll take a ride in the yacht, and you can pilot the yacht.
I would love to. Thank you so much. Boats Niagara show, right?
Back to Paul K. Lemire show.
Boats Niagara show on Airport Road, and they're having a big show. Get down there and see it if you got a boat. Take care, Pat.
Okay, take care, Paul.
Okay, bye. Well, there you go. Boats Niagara. You got a boat. You got to make it float, and you go down to Airport Road. And you're going to see it. So, thank goodness. I think it worked, Pat. I'm not sure. Pat's still listening. I'm not sure. I think it did work. So we'll see when we roll the video later on. Back to my story about the trucker who had a $17.5 million haul of cigarettes. So what he got is house arrest. That's right. That's what he got. House arrest. That's it. House arrest for his trouble. And he's got to do, he's on probation for 12 months in order to perform 200 hours of community service. That's it. As for his job, well, he can drive truck. He just won't probably be able to ever go over the border again. Let's face it. He can't haul boats, that's for sure. Not over that border. Now, to me, if the courts were serious, this guy would be doing hard time in prison somewhere. He'd get over 2 years, not just house arrest. I mean, yeah, this wasn't the worst crime ever, let's face it. But still, the penalties have to be harsh to suppress the urge by others to do the same thing. And that's what we need in Canada. We need laws, and we need these laws, maximum sentences for them. You can't let guys off. This guy's probably ran a ton of loads over. First one he got caught at. This isn't his first rodeo. And to get a slap on the wrist like house arrest, I mean, it's a lot of money, and he is smuggling, and he's avoiding taxes. That's why they smuggle him, to avoid paying taxes on him. And then he fences them off to people, right? So that's how the wheels of justice work in Canada, and they work the same whether it's a guy smuggling that or it's some other guy dealing drugs or anything else. They got to get tougher. Now, I'm going to get to my second sponsor, which is going to be Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. And once we get through that, I'm going to get into the question I've been asked about Mike Strange and my thoughts on whether he should be at the meeting on Tuesday or not. So, you want a pizza. You want a good pizza. You like a pizza that not only tastes good, but is consistently good. That's the problem with most pizza places. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not good. It's the consistency that we're always looking for. So in that regard, what we want to do is go to Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. They use the Mancini family recipe for their crust. They use the Mancini family recipe for their sauce. And they know how to put the sauce and cheese on that pizza in the right ratio. That's how you make a good pizza. Then you do it, you top it with fresh ingredients. Now, they're not a one-trick pony. They have everything there. They have fantastic chicken wings. They have fantastic steak and cheese poutine, regular poutine, panzerotti, you name it. They've got a menu this big. You can't go wrong. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. How do you get one of these wonderful pizzas? You call 905-374-2222, or you go to petespizzavictoria.ca. You can order right online. They use Skip, they use Dash, they use all the different services. You don't have to worry. It's going to get to you. My buddy Tony Nero orders, and you know what? They're to him in 30 minutes, hot and fresh. So they're good at what they do. Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue, support our sponsors. They support the show. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay, big question. A couple people have asked me this. Will Mike Strange be at the city council meeting Tuesday? What do you think, Paul? Well, I think he'll be there. I just have a feeling he'll be there. Although my opinion is that he really should send his regrets, asking for a leave of absence, or step down at least until the court date of June 6th. I mean, I'm talking to people, and I don't feel there's a lot of backlash for for this assault. Well, this alleged assault, right? I believe he will be there. I don't think there's enough people who are upset by this. Him assaulting a woman or allegedly assaulting a woman. Let me get that in there. I think if there was more people who are totally aghast and yelling and screaming about this, he wouldn't show up. And if they were making their feelings known. But we have 3 women on city council, and we have a lot of women on staff in upper management positions that are at city council. And I don't know. I mean, you'd think that if this was so bad, they would just say, no, I'm not attending while this guy's coming in. But we haven't heard any of that. And I don't really get it in my mind why they wouldn't be upset about this. And Todd saying to the mayor, I'm not attending. I'm not coming in if this guy's in there. But they're not. So basically, without backlash for these actions that he's alleged to have committed, and this is one of the lows in society. I mean, abusing children, abusing women, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Hell, the city gives their support to battered women's shelters and organizations like Birchway and Jillian's Place. When I was coming in, I see a sign right up there, Birchway Book Riot. That's for helping abused women. And I'm sure city council helps them all they can. They probably waive the fees if it's at the Gale Center. They probably have waived the fees for them. Council always supports these organizations, and I'm not sure. I haven't reviewed any of the video of the city council meeting when they were there, if Councillor Strange got up and spoke or not. But if he does attend and he's there and nobody says anything or protests, and it's like it never happened. I mean, this is a really tough one. I mean, I know Councillor Strange should be considered innocent until proven guilty. But the details that we have right now, the evidence that we have, that we've saw, only points to one conclusion, right? A preponderance of the evidence that we have. The police were called. There was a woman injured bad enough to need medical attention. The police laid charges against Councillor Strange for it. He's the guy. He was arrested and released on bail, and there's a restraining order on him. This restraining order was issued. I mean, these things don't happen in a domestic situation, conflict, if it was just threats or arguments. I mean, you might get the restraining order if you threaten to kill her or something like that. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, yes, there could be extenuating circumstances. Me and John Ringo Beam had a talk about that the other day. I'm not able to articulate what those circumstances would be because, of course, like Gary Wilkins said, the smart thing to do is to walk away. You just don't strike out. What's different about this is also that you have a perp that was basically a professional boxer. His job was to knock people out. I mean, that's a little different than your regular guy, so, and yeah, I don't know. It's just, it makes it worse to me. At the end of the day, Mike attending this meeting and not stepping down, at least until this whole affair is over, is really putting all city councilors in a very bad position. Do they do their job for the people and deal with city business while sitting next to a guy that is charged and has allegedly assaulted a woman? Or do they get up and walk out understanding that somebody assaulting a woman, a man assaulting a woman, cannot be tolerated on any level, and they refuse to work with him sitting at that seat? This is kind of where they're at. And I'm sure if you talk to any of the other councilors, that this is something they would never, try to tolerate at all. And what about the woman? Is there loyalty to the citizens of Niagara Falls to go and do their job there, or abused women? Maybe they've been abused themselves. I don't know their history. I don't know these people. We have 3 women on council, and many more in upper management that are sitting there. Is that not concerning to them that they're going to sit there with somebody who's alleged to have done this? And I mean, it's a tough one. It's a very, very tough one for everybody. Everybody's caught between a rock and a hard place. I mean, what would you do? What would you do? Would you go to that meeting or not? I think, I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one. So the best solution is for Councillor Strange not to show up. Take the noble road, bow out at least until the June 6th hearing he has. Not because he's guilty. He's not guilty until proven guilty. He's innocent. At least proven guilty, but because he has honor and doesn't want to put anyone in a bad position, whether it be the other councillors, the staff, or the mayor himself. I mean, it's kind of like if they're sitting there and they're not upset, it's like it's okay what he did. It's okaying, and I don't think they would do that. But they're torn, so why put him in that position? That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. What are your thoughts? Leave comments on the video. We'll discuss it further next week. I mean, hey, I like Mike. I know Mike. He's a Habs fan. But at the end of the day, he's done a lot for the city and people in general. But I don't think at the end of the day you could just ignore these charges like it didn't happen or that kind of thing. Because if you do that, it's saying it's okay. Yeah, you did that, but boys will be boys. No, it's not. It's not. On any level, it's not. You can disagree with me on this, but it's never okay. Regardless of who is alleged to have done it. And, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. And I don't have an answer, and I just don't even know what I would do. I don't know if I'd get up and walk out. Like Gary Wilkins said, he'd get up, walk out with an explanation that I'm not staying here while we have this going on. And I can't even imagine that Mayor Jim never had a talk with him. I mean, saying, what the hell, Mike? Come on. I would say he did. I'm not sure. And I'm not even sure he's going to be there. He might not show up. We're just guessing at this point. We'll see on Tuesday night. But that's the way I look at it. And I don't know, right or wrong. I mean, you can give your comments. Tell me what you think. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Okay, that's my opinion on it. That's it. I'm not saying any more about it today. I'll probably have something to say, not next week, but the week after that. Because after Tuesday, I do absolutely, and then I'm gone for a couple days. Okay, so, well. The posties have backed off their strike threats, even though no settlement has been reached. They're starting to see the writing on the wall. They're starting to see it. They are in a collision course with technology, and they have been for a long time. Now they're starting to see what's going to happen. They're moving into the future. What they did was say that we are not going to work overtime. Overtime? I didn't even think that was possible for posties working overtime. Doing what? They claim they're going to stay on the job to minimize disruption to the public. Please. As the one guy said, he didn't even know they were on strike until he never got his Kentucky Fried Chicken coupons. The truth is that if they go on strike again, they may never come back. It's over for them. They may never be back on the job. That's right. Canadians have learned alternative ways to deal without having the post office involved. They found ways around it. And they were taught that by posties themselves last November when they took off the job, and they thought everybody was going to be crying. What they did was they signed their pink slips. And I said that then. They prove they're not essential service. Canada Post is broke. The writing's on the wall. They know it, you know it, and I know it. I mean, just because there's a threat of a strike, parcel and mail volumes have decreased. Just because they mentioned it. Parcel and mail volumes has decreased as companies and people turn to alternatives. We know that. Ones that offer more efficient and less expensive delivery services. The walls are tumbling down. During Christmas, when they went, they had a little bit of leverage because that fruitcake from Aunt Martha that lives in Schenectady, you wanted to get it to your house before Christmas, and so did she. So when they went off the job, you weren't getting your fruitcake. So there's a little bit of leverage with presents and cards and everything else. But now it's different. They have no leverage at all right now. They have no leverage. It's not Christmas. Summer means nothing. Their leverage is done. And Canada Post made them a decent offer. I heard a 6% increase this year by increases of 3%, 2%, and 2% over the next 4 years. I mean, considering they're going the way of the dodo, not bad. Well, you know what? All I can say is time will tell where these posties end up. One thing is certain, they're a dying breed and will end up in the annals of history with the bread man, the ice man, the coal man, and the milkman. Sorry, John Ringo Beam. Niceties of the past that reached their expiration date and now are housed in museums and memories. Those guys who delivered stuff, and I think, within the next 10 years, you won't see the postman anymore. They're going to replace it with super mailboxes at the end of the street, if anything, and no home-to-home delivery. They're already talking about it. Part-time workers on weekends pick up the slack because they want to start delivering on weekends. There's a lot of things they want to do, but Canada Post is broke. They have no money, and they have been for a long time. Taxpayers have been supporting them. I don't think it's going to happen much longer. And this right here could be the beginning of the end for them. Yeah, let's get to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. What can I say? In any city that has industry, and we had a lot in the past, machine shops like Hamel Machine Company are needed. Small industry, big industry, it doesn't matter what size industry, they have machines. They have things that need to be fixed, and they can't wait for parts, especially in this day and age when parts are coming from all over the world. China, Taiwan, Vietnam, Germany, Europe, wherever the parts are coming from for these machines take a long time and they're expensive to get in. So what do these industries do? They go to machine shops like Hamel Machine Company. They take the part there. Hamel can fix it. If they can't fix it, they can re-engineer it. They can remake it. And you know what Hamel does in the meantime while they're doing that kind of thing? They actually look at it and make it more efficient if possible. They've done it for many industries, rich products, the winery industry. They've done it for agricultural products. And then they ship them all over the world because once people start saving money on time using these new pieces of equipment, they want them. They want them everywhere. And that's what Hamel does. But they haven't forgot about the little guys in Niagara Falls like you and me. You shear a pin on your snowblower. You break this, you break that. Take it to Hamel. They'll look at it and they can fix it for you. You need a set of gates for your backyard. Guess what? They can fabricate them. They can weld them up for you, design them, and powder coat them. They can do the whole job for you. Hamel Machine Company in Niagara Falls since 1948, doing wonderful things around the world. And we're so lucky to have these kind of businesses in Niagara Falls for almost 1948. That's like 200 years ago. Hamel Machine Company. Get down there, tell them Paul from your city, your voice sent you. They're going to take care of you. They've been around a long time. They know what they're doing. They have the latest technology to do it. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. We appreciate it, and thank you for viewing the show. Okay, let's get down to the United States, and I always end up down there with Trump. I have to. There's so much going on every day there. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it. Trump isn't messing around with anyone, including the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, at the White House. He was at the White House And South Africa has one of the highest murder rates in the world, and the overwhelming number of victims are black. So Ramaphosa hoped to use Wednesday's meeting to reset his country's relationship with the U.S. after Trump canceled aid to South Africa. And he offered refuge to white minority South Africaners who were being killed. He expelled the country's ambassador from the United States and criticized its genocide court case against Israel. He launched a court case calling the Israeli attacks on Hamas genocide, which, the retaliation from when, Hamas went in there and murdered 1,300 people that had nothing to do, civilians, with anything. They started it. So the U.S. is South Africa's biggest trading partner, and the country is facing a 30% tariff under Trump's tariff schedule. Now, this guy comes to the White House, the president, and Trump took the African president to task and gave a list of concerns about the treatment of white South Africaners, which he punctuated by playing a video proving his allegations. The video showed white crosses, which Trump said were the graves of white people, and incendiary speeches against whites. He showed him a video. He pulled the TV right into the Oval Office and showed him, here. You say you're not doing that? Here you go. Here's proof. Even suggesting one of them, Julius Malema, should be arrested and charged. And Trump said people are fleeing South Africa for their own safety. Now, President Ramaphosa pushed back against those claims, saying, if there was African or farmer genocide, I can bet you these gentlemen would not be here, referring to 3 people that were part of his entourage that visited the White House with him, including Ernie Els, a professional golfer, and Retief Goosen, another professional golfer, and Johan Rupert, a South African billionaire businessman. He says, hey, if this were all true, what you're saying, President Trump, these guys wouldn't be here with me, and they're here. But it wasn't good enough for Trump, who showed the president printed articles regarding the white South African people who have been killed, saying the farmers are not black. Rupert stepped up in to back up the president of South Africa, saying, not all the killings are white, and a lot of the alleged killings of whites is a myth and not reality. The South African president kept his cool through all this, through all these videos and everything Trump was showing him, flatly denying Trump's allegations, saying there's just no genocide in South Africa, even though Trump presented evidence to the contrary. Following the meeting, the South African president sought to focus on trade, saying the 2 countries had agreed to discuss initial critical materials in South Africa. His trade minister had submitted a trade and investment proposal that included buying liquid natural gas from the U.S. Now, you talk about a guy walking into the Shark Tank. Holy crap. He says something. Trump says, hey, you're wrong. I'll prove it to you. Pulls up the video and gives it to him. Zelensky thought he got hardballed by Trump. That is wild. You got to watch it on the video on it. It's pretty wild. I can't believe this guy. He kept his cool a lot better than Zelensky, the South African president. But there you go. You walk into the White House, you're walking into the Shark Tank. You better have your facts in order, as Trump will, guaranteed. So staying on the Trump train, Trump also announced something that is going to be good for Canada, the Golden Dome. And I think I talked a little bit about this yesterday. Canada wants to be a part of this. The missile defense shield will take 3 years to build at a cost of $175 billion, and it'll protect North America from missile attacks from anywhere around the world, even from space. And it doesn't matter what kind of missile they'll fire, ballistic, cruise, supersonic, no matter what, they can stop them. And, it's going to be part of Space Force Command and commanded by a 4-star Space Force General, Mike Gutien. All the components of the network will be made in the USA. And, of course, Canada is expected to pay its fair share, and they're going to. Now, they never said how much that is, how much they got to pay, but it's going to be a sizable amount of money to develop this Golden Dome for all of North America. And The only thing it can't protect us against, I guess, is domestic terrorists. And you see all kinds of things happening in the States going, wow, bombs and everything going off. Plane crashes, bombs, you name it. I mean, let's face it, these domestic terrorists came over the border during the Biden regime and with the open border policies, which that's another controversial thing as well right now. We're trying to figure that one out. But regardless, we're going to have a golden dome. Canada's going to help pay, and you can feel safe that if any of these radical regimes decide to throw a couple of bombs over here that could be here in like 12 minutes, we're going to have a shield that'll fix them. Trump's going to build that shield, and we're going to be participating. See how good friends Canada and the U.S. are? They can get along. They can get along. They know they have the same interests. We all have the same interests, right? Guaranteed. We're best friends. We just have to start proving we're best friends by working with the U.S. and the U.S. working with us, which I think Trump wants to do. So speaking of Biden, now that we're on that subject, finding out that he's incompetent, he has been for the last 4 years, and ill with cancer, isn't a surprise to any of us who said that from day one. You could tell from day one that he wasn't all there. That he wasn't all there. And Trump's now thinking that it wasn't Joe Biden who wanted open borders to ruin America. His thing is that Joe Biden never wanted open borders. He never, ever wanted open borders. And I mean, even under the Obama administration, Obama wanted to close the borders as well. Spent a lot of money on it, and he deported 3 million people. They never wanted open borders. So, who was it that wanted open borders? I know that the new Green Deal and AOC plus 3 and Bernie Sanders and that are yelling about it. I know a lot of these left-wing radicals, they're all yelling about it. I know the liberal judges and that are all yelling about it. So who wanted open borders? And whoever wanted open borders controlled that auto pen that was signing all the executive orders to open the borders to anybody and stop building the wall and taking people away from the border, cutting ICE, cutting border patrol. So Joe never did advocate for open borders, ever, even while he was president. So who signed all these executive orders? And that's what's going through the justice system right now. They're looking for whoever signed them. Since Biden was incapable and really didn't understand what was going on, and we saw that with Mike Johnson when Mike Johnson told him about the deal he made, the order he signed about selling liquefied natural gas to Europe. He said, I never signed that order. He goes, Mr. President, here's the papers right here. You signed them. He goes, well, I never knew that. I never see. He doesn't know. So somebody took over that auto pen and could have signed every executive order that stopped the wall and opened the borders, and put America at risk, and basically has forced Trump to hire Tom Homan as the border czar to stop it. And they got it down to a trickle now, the lowest it's ever been for a lot of years. So now, if it's true that Joe was incapable of making these decisions, who did? I mean, Harris was a big proponent of the Bernie Sanders and OAC plus 3 movement. All radical left-wing wingers that are battling to keep illegals in the country and keep the borders open. They're all under the gun, and charges are going to be laid. OAC is holding seminars on how the criminals, illegals can escape ICE and stay in the country. Charges are going to be laid, and Trump with Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino are going to get to the bottom of this. It's going to get ugly for whoever was behind the Root America movement, and there is somebody behind it, and they're starting to name names now. And we're going to find out. They're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to find out that, perhaps, although we were tough on Joe Biden, the poor guy didn't know what the hell he was doing, and there was other people controlling him like a puppet, which we suspected, but not to the point of actually running the auto pen that signed all these executive orders. I mean, whoever controlled the auto pen controlled the government. And it wasn't somebody we elected or anybody we elected. So this is bad. And this all came to fruition and to light a long time ago. People have been saying it, but they've been called conspiracy theorists, of course. But the release of the Her report and the release of information regarding Biden's cancer, prostate cancer, and how long he's had it, and how long he really was able to function. These two items of information have Republicans more convinced that the Biden White House was not truthful. And of course, they weren't. They were on TV saying he was sharp as a tack. We saw it. We saw Kamala Harris saying right till the 2 weeks before they got rid of him after the debate. The debate was the end of his action, his act. I mean, that was it. Kamala Harris was on national TV saying he's as sharp as a tack. He runs all the meetings. He's the guy who gives the orders. And obviously, he wasn't the guy who gave the orders. It was somebody else. So now there's a huge cover up, and we see it. Kamala Harris, and I mean, you even got your MSNBCs and that. Joe Scarborough said that Joe Biden was the sharpest he's ever been. It's the sharpest he's ever seen him. This is about a month before or so before he got thrown out. Told he couldn't run, and they put Harris in there. So it's going to be really interesting as these guys all backpedal and say he wasn't as sharp as a tack. We know he wasn't. We saw him live. We saw him stumbling and mumbling, wandering off into the forest, wandering off over there when they were having a meeting in Europe there. And Gabriella Meloni, the president of Prime Minister of Italy, had to go get him. We've seen him fall. We've seen him slip. We've seen him fall up Air Force One steps. We've seen it all in his mumbling and bumbling and Uncle Bozy getting eaten by cannibals. We've seen it all. And we said he's decrepit. He's not right. He shouldn't be running the country, but they just kept saying, no, he's fine. He's sharp as a tack. Sharp as a tack. Just before the debate, they were saying that. But the debate was the final straw. That was the end. That was when even they couldn't cover up for him anymore. So stay tuned to this one. We're going to find out who was controlling the government. That's the question right now. And it's going to come out. It's going to come out. Just like it's going to come out about Carney and what he's been doing. It's all a game. It's all a game. We get, like this Carney guy's got to go in Canada. He's been lying all along, and he's dropped the tariffs on the United States secretly and that kind of thing. You can read about it. It's all out there. It's not a secret anymore. It's just that nobody cares. Nobody does anything about it. Carney, the people are still sticking up for him, say he's great. He isn't. He's here to liquidate Canada. He's not great. Saw him down there with Trump. Never said nothing. Took a beating from Trump. Anyway, that's it for me today. I'm out of here. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hopefully it's a lot nicer than it's been all week. The rain stopped for now. It looks like it's going to rain out there again, but hey, what do I know? I'm not a weatherman. Gary said I'm not a weatherman because the rodent predicted better than I did. And he's right. I'm not a weatherman, Gary. I'm not. I know whether I'm coming or going, but that's the only weather that I have, unlike Joe Biden. So Monday is going to be City Council Review Day. Tune in. Dave Wheeler will be in the studio, and we're going to take care of business with City Council. Tuesday is going to be the regular Trash Talking Tuesday. We're going to have a regular Trash Talking Day. Talk a little bit about more. If we get some comments about Mike Strange, Councilor Mike Strange, if he's going to show up or not, and what your thoughts are on that. It's a tough one. I want to hear your comments, so let's get them on the air. Let's talk about them. You can say it anonymously if you want, but I mean, it's always alleged. Remember, innocent until proven guilty. It's alleged that he did that, right? So we got to see what happens when all the court cases come up. But do you think he should step down, or do you think he should stay there? That's up to you. That's your decision. Wednesdays, absolutely. We're getting there with news on the Habs of what's going on, a little bit about the Stanley Cup series that are going on right now. Very little, because it's all Habs, all show. See what's going on with that. Absolutely on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday next week, I'm out of here. I'm off. I'm out of here. I'm taking a couple days off. Rest and relax. And then we're going to prime up for the June 7th event at Taps Brewhouse, honoring Rick Rose as they name part of Queen Street after him. And 4680 Q's involved. We're going to have draws for different items. And if you want to donate to the Rick Rose Foundation, get a hold of me, the Rick Rose Music Foundation, and you'll be eligible to get in the draws for giveaways, which includes guitars and food vouchers and stuff like that, food gift certificates, that kind of thing. Anyway, are you going to miss me next week? Who knows? I don't think so. But I'm off, and I'm taking off out of here. See you Monday, noon sharp, with my compadre Dave Wheeler in the house for City Council Agenda Review. Have a great weekend, everybody. God bless you all. Don't forget our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Oh, man. Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza and Hamel Machine Company. All great people, all great businesses in Niagara Falls. We want you to support these businesses because they support the city. They're supporting the Rick Rose Music Foundation, and they're supporting everybody in town. That's the way they are. Small business is so important in Niagara Falls. Support the ones that support the show and every other one in the city. They depend on us to keep them going. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy.